This is Heather B. Live.
Thank you.
On right now. This is Heather B. It's heads only you. How I felt about the rap game. Who am I? Heather B, I can't deny. Oh, rude boy, big up. Now hear this. And if they don't know, I'm here to tell them.
Yo, sound man. Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up.
Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. What's up, SiriusXM Urban Review family, Heather B Live crew. Your girl Heather B is out today, so it's Reecie Colbert, your other girl, filling in for her. Today is Wednesday, December 21st, 2022. It's a beautiful but chilly day out here in the DMV. But I am happy to be joined as always. Wait, hold on. Before I get to that, let me say something real quick. I have to start off by saying thanks for spending your lunch break with me. Today's show is brought to you in part by AARP. To learn more about how AARP is helping the community thrive, visit aarp.com/Black community. I'm definitely thriving today, okay? I have my little hair is cute, you know. I'm going to be joined by somebody else who I will introduce in a moment. Her hair is cute. We all popping over here. And so that's why I have to bring in the Heather B Live production team, because I know they popping all day, every day. Hey, Yaya, how you doing today, girlfriend?
Hey, I'm good. How are you? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Are you thriving today?
I am. I'm looking forward to the holidays. So I'm excited about that. I'm really, really looking forward to Christmas this year.
Me too. I'm looking forward to it, even though I have not finished my shopping. I don't have anything on my shopping list for me. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm still looking forward to Christmas because it's all about family and games and movies for me. So I'm glad you're looking forward to it too. Hey, Amina.
Hey, Reecie, how are you? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. I'm gonna jam out a little bit to your theme music. I just always got to get a little shoulder bounce back in there. I don't know how old you are, but in my age range, we did the little bankhead bounce. You know what I'm saying? What do you do? What's your little dance that you do to your theme song?
I just heard about the song when Heather mentioned it. Like I think like 3 years ago now. But yeah, now I'm like I just bob my head because it's very catchy.
Yeah, you know, a little head bob. You can't go wrong with that. We used to do. I'm trying to think of the name of the thing. It was called It was I can't even describe it. So I'll move on. But it's a little dance that we used to do. You do a little hop pop, and then you do your little head up. I don't know if that was a West Coast thing, and I cannot describe it. But it was like a head bop thing. It was an actual official dance. It used to be easier than all these little TikTok, the floss, and the all the other stuff they got going on right now. But okay, head bop, we're gonna go with that.
I'm with you on that.
Right?
I'm with you on that. TikTok makes it look so much harder nowadays. I'm like, oh, they make it look so easy, but when you're actually trying to do it, I'm like, this is hard.
It like literally, I tried to do the Victoria Monet. She has a sum cut challenge. And I was like, okay, that look like it's got like 10 steps. It's 20 seconds. I can do it. Girl, I gave up after 20 seconds. I was like, I can't do it. I can't pop like and drop it like I used to. I'm going to leave this to the boppers and let them do it. But yeah, I love a good TikTok challenge. I just ain't got the moves like I used to. Okay.
Same. I'm going to just leave it to Gen Z.
Okay, exactly. I've aged out of that, as much to my chagrin. Hey, Stephanie.
What's going on? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. It is cold here too in New York, and I'm not looking forward to the cold weather that's supposed to hit like the whole country this weekend. So I'm not a cold weather girl at all.
Well, okay. So where are you from? You must be somewhere warmer.
No, I'm from Queens. Like I grew up in New York City. So yeah, but New York in Christmas time is so beautiful, but the weather I can't. I need heat. I need a heavy jacket constantly.
Okay, well, what's your favorite? Because you know, one good thing about the cold weather is, you know, you get to kind of dress up. You get to layer up. You get to get a little bit more fashion in. So, what's your like staple cold weather like It's cold, but make it fashion item that you like to wear.
Oh, I love to wear Doc Marten boots, even though they're not the warmest, but you could dress it up with a nice pair of socks or whatever. And I do love a scarf.
Okay. Okay. Yes. I love a good scarf too. I've been delinquent because it doesn't get like that cold out here to where I need to like scarf and gloves and hat and this, that, and the other. Cause usually I'm just running in and out of places. I don't do Uber, I don't do Subway, I don't do all that. I drive everywhere. So, but yeah, a good scarf. Doc Marten boots does sound hella cute. So yes, you're definitely giving in this fall, well, winter weather now. You know what I had to say though, because I was in New York recently, and I feel like New York is so much more festive in terms of the decor than out here. Like there are barely lights on the street lights and stuff like that. Are you seeing a lot of decor and stuff like on the streets that makes it feel like the holidays?
Absolutely. Once it hits like after Halloween, I would say the city just gets Christmas. Like we skip over Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We do have the Thanksgiving Day parade, but we skip over all that and we go straight to Christmas here.
I hear you. I want more of that Christmas spirit, but I guess we'll just have to live with what we got out here. But listen, ladies, it's always good to be with you. Today, as always, is Woman to Woman Wednesday. So I have a wonderful guest that I'll introduce in a moment, but I always still like to throw out what the topic is so that y'all know what we're going to be talking about today. The number, as always, is 866-801-8255. Y'all know by now, I love to take a lot of calls. I love to hear from you. I try to get everybody in. And so we are going to be taking calls throughout the show. The main topic I wanted to kind of address today, outside of course, our wonderful guest, is what has been going on with this Tory Lanez trial. I don't want to say Megan Thee Stallion trial because Megan Thee Stallion is not on trial. Okay. She was shot. She is the victim. And so I have been just aghast and appalled, and I can't say too shocked, but appalled at the lack of support that she's still getting or still not getting, and the amount of backlash she's receiving during a trial where it is indisputable that she is shot. I mean, I know for years people have been gaslighting her, and I should say Tory Lanez and his camp have been gaslighting her and trying to say that she wasn't even shot. So now nobody is disputing in terms of the trial that she has been shot. And she has spoken out about how she has experienced so much trauma and just mental health, breakdowns from her assault, from being the victim. And so I've been seeing a lot of backlash against her. You had 50 Cent, who's always appalling, making jokes about it. Lil Duval, who just got into an accident and he wanted sympathy because his leg was broke, was poking fun at Megan Thee Stallion. And just so many people have come out the woodworks to not support us. So I've been wondering, like, okay, where the aunties at? You know what I'm saying? Like I might on the younger end of the auntie, but I still consider myself like, giving rich auntie sometimes. I try to do that. And I've just been wondering, like, okay, where are the aunties at? That to come out and defend her against a lot of the hatred that she's been experiencing. So I was very, very happy to see Vivica Fox and Claudia Jordan. They're on a show on Fox Soul called Cocktail with Queens. And they actually did finally speak out against Joe Budden. Now, Joe Budden has a lot of stuff that he really has. He has no business with the allegations that have been made against him about how he conducts himself towards women and the stuff that he's been caught on tape talking about. I won't go into that right this second. He has no business speaking on Megan Thee Stallion, but Fox Soul's Cocktail with Queens co-host Vivica Fox and Claudia Jordan came to Megan Thee Stallion's defense following comments made by Joe Budden during a recent episode of his podcast. Budden claimed that he did not like her, quote unquote, he did not like her because of so-called horrible things he alleged she done to friends of his in the industry. Megan is currently in court because, like I said earlier, she has accused Tory Lanez of shooting her in both feet during a dispute during the summer of 2020. So this has been going on for years now. And he said, Oh wait, sorry. This is what Vivica Fox said. Vivica Fox, she read him his life rights. She said, if you don't button it up and sit your bitch ass down, hating on that girl, y'all mad because girls right now is ruling rap. It's just driving y'all crazy that the sisters is just ruling and taking numbers and can tell y'all all about yourself and look sexy with it. That's what Vivica Fox said. And Claudia Jordan chimed in, bringing up his checkered past with women and accusing him of snaking his former podcast host, Worry and Mao. He has not responded. So I just think it's very interesting that he says that she's done horrible things. Pot, meat, kettle. Hello. And he's attacking her. But I was just so happy to see a couple of aunties, and I hope they don't object to being called aunties, finally speak up. So just marinate on that. If you've heard anything about this Tory Lanez trial, if you have any feelings about how Megan Thee Stallion is being treated in this, or just what do you think is the role of, you know, the other women in the industry to kind of speak up when they see someone like Megan Thee Stallion really taking a lot of abuse for being a victim. So I just wanted to throw that out there. 866-801-8255. But in the meantime, while y'all marinate on that, I want to get to our guest for today. It's Woman to Woman Wednesdays. And this woman was somebody that I thought about because when I think of her, I think of fearless, I think of bold, I think of unapologetic, I think of black, like blackity black, but like in a pro-black kind of way. And I love her energy. So I want to welcome to the show, the Heather B Live Crew Show, Candace McDuffie. She is senior writer for The Root and author of the book 50 Rappers Who Changed the Road. Hey, boo, hey. Hey, Candace. How you doing, girl?
I'm good. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for agreeing to come on the show. Let's just jump right into it. Okay. So you write for The Root. And you write on a variety of topics, right? And so just talk a little bit about how you decide on a day-to-day basis what you want to write about so that the audience kind of gets to know a little bit more about you.
I mean, when I started writing back in 2006, I focused on music because it fueled me and gave me so much joy. It eventually evolved into talking about, you know, how music intersects with race and politics. And I never thought about, you know, discussing colorism as something that's controversial, right? These are things that are glaring. You know, discrimination, cultural appropriation, racism. These are things that are very glaring in society and affects Black people on a daily basis. So to me, I was just stating the obvious. I never sought out to be opinionated or polarizing. It's just how it's perceived. But to me, it's just standing up for Black people whenever I get the chance.
You know, it's so interesting because you said polarizing. And I mean, social media, digital media, like the whole space that we're in society, to have an opinion is by default to be polarizing because everybody is like dug in terms of what they feel. Everybody's an expert on everything. And then people try to shut you up, you know, when you're talking about something. You are not a person, though, who is going to be shut up, you know? So talk a little bit about how you manage to stay bold and stay authentic in the environment that we're in, where in particular to be a Black woman speaking her opinion, you know, just invites backlash automatically off the rip.
I think for me, you know, I've gone viral several times in my career, a lot at The Root. And I took it personally. I cried on my mama's couch, eating McDonald's, you know, just upset and hurt because it's on such a public platform. You know, I've made the Shade Room. I've had Lizzo retweet me. I've, you know, had some crazy things happen in my career, but you kind of understand it's part of the machine, right? That hate and vitriol are more viral than positivity and appreciation. And that people will say over the top, disrespectful, crazy things because they want to feed off of your energy and ride off of your back and get clicks and engagement from work that you did. So I think for me, it's just understanding that's where our culture is now and just to not take any of it personally.
Yeah, but I think there's also steps that you take, right, to help not take it personally. So what are the things that you do like to like affirm like, hey, I'm worthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are the steps that you do to affirm yourself and kind of block out the things that come at you?
The biggest thing for me has been building community offline, meeting people like yourself, going to events, connecting with Black women in journalism, talking to my team, talking to my friends, talking to my family, people who are in my corner, people who understand what it is, people who genuinely support me. And it's not just on social media. That has been the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
And I think too, just kind of not being on social media a lot.
Right.
Back.
Right.
You know, it's easy to kind of fall into just scrolling and doing it mindlessly, right? So I'm not really on any other social media besides Instagram, and I don't really do story anymore. I just want to protect my privacy and my peace of mind, and that's also really helped.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that setting boundaries is good. And I mean, social media is addictive, but at the same time, it's a website, it's an app, and those people don't have control over you once you like close it. If you like walk away, then that's that. Is there a story that you kind of like kind of one eye closed, like kind of hit send and you're like, oh shit, this is gonna blow up, but it had the opposite reaction, like people like were like, woo, thank God, like sis is preaching, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is there something that you just knew you were going to get dragged for, you're going to get the hate mail, and it did not happen that way?
I did an op-ed on Kevin Samuels, and that was a few days before he passed away, right? So I critiqued his misogyny, how he kind of came after Black women. And I knew by, you know, going after someone that certain people look up to for dating and relationship advice would just instantly spark backlash. But a lot of Black women came out of the woodwork to tell me, you know, the damage he was doing to our community.
Yeah.
And I think you can't stay silent when it does so much harm. And a friend of mine told me months ago, when I was having trouble, like dealing with the attention, that if you're a critic and no one disagrees with what you're saying, then are you even doing your job right? Right.
Hello.
So I kind of keep that in mind. Like, we're supposed to push discourse and push the conversation forward, even if it's uncomfortable.
No, I completely agree with you on that. I mean, you have
you know, you be coming for people too, Reecie. Like, I see you out there in those Twitter streets. Okay,
I do. I really do. I come for people. I don't punch down though. So people come for me and I'm like, look, going back at you is punching down for me. It's okay. I'll let you live, have your opinion. I try to only punch up, but I try to keep it more so on topic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could bring up a lot of stuff about a lot of people, but if I'm going at them, it's because like we disagree on this policy, we disagree on this situation, as opposed to me trying to like, sometimes I go real bad. Like Piers Morgan, I went real bad on him, but most of the time, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I want to, whatever. Anyway, long story short, what's fun about your job though? Because I know you do such a variety of things. Like, what actually is like one of those things where you're like, you know what? I got a good thing going here. I like what I'm doing.
My job pushed me to start my own video series called The Call Out, where I address just topics and, you know, Black culture. And I've talked about everything from, you know, Kanye West, which is like a whole other can of worms.
Yeah.
To, you know, gay people kind of being, you know, discriminated against in hip hop. And it's, you know, it's so hard for them. I've talked about Juneteenth, you know, being commercialized by white corporations. I get to talk about things that bother me that need to be addressed. And it's been really great to see it flourish, for my script writing to improve, and for the audience to grow.
Oh yeah, I participated in the Call Out when we met at the NABJ, the National Association of Black Journalists Conference, and it was a lot of fun because, you know, it's just like a quick and like easy way to kind of get people's attention on a topic, because people, let's be honest, have a short attention span. So people don't want to watch a whole documentary on something. They want a couple sound bites to roll with. So I love what you're doing with the Call Out. Now, you guys just had a big event, the Route 100, and it was a huge success. So just talk a little bit about your experience with that and how it felt to have that kind of cap the year a little bit.
It felt great to go through and hand select these legendary, groundbreaking, trailblazing Black people. And a list that's respected. I think it's in its 13th or 14th year, I believe. You know, and to see, you know, they surprised Gayle King on air. Mentioning that, you know, she was on the list. She came to the Route 100. Questlove gave a moving speech at the Route 100. Chloe Bailey empowered Black girls and women with her speech at the event as well. So just to kind of celebrate the richness and diversity of Blackness. And I think to be able to do it at a place like the Route that kind of elevates Black voices was really, really special to me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know, people are still talking about the Oscars. People are still talking, you know, people talk about who gets snubbed on the Emmys and who gets snubbed on the Golden Globes. And it's like, you know, we got Black stuff. We got Black lists. We got Black awards.
Very important to support and to recognize, you know, the way we're trying to just uplift our people, because these institutions won't ever do it.
Exactly.
Honestly, right?
Exactly.
I've written about it. The Grammys shutting out Black artists for decades. Okay. They're not,
right,
you know, really for us. So keeping in mind the places that are.
And I would say too about the Route, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, it was a curated list. Like there was a process. It wasn't like, hey, this corporation donated $10,000 to the award show, so this person is going to get a nomination. You know, like it's a more authentic, like selection process. Is that an accurate way of describing it?
It is. You know, we nominate people on the staff. We've opened it up to our readers to nominate people. There's rigorous research and algorithms, and it's this whole thing. Like I had no idea it would be so detailed and involved. But it's a whole process that really tries to just shine a light on the people who have done amazing things, specifically within the last year.
Well, I wanted to shine a light on you because you're doing amazing things.
Thank you.
And I say this, and this is a compliment, to be a loudmouth Black girl in the United States of America is an act of defiance. And I love that. But I love that there's so much more to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that people try to put women like us in a box, like, you know, you're just opinionated, you're just this, you're just that. But I wanted people to hear more about you and see the range that you have, girlfriend, because you have it. Before you go, though, I want you to tell people, number one, how they can follow your work. And then number two, you know, this is the end of the year. Have you thought about anything that you want to do, like bigger and better, or even just different next year?
Just visit theroot.com, you know, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, @theroot. And for next year, you know, doing the Route 100 bigger. Let's do the Root Institute. That was in DC of September of this year.
Yeah.
We're looking to just have more events that honor and really celebrate Blackness. So just keep an eye out for that.
We will. Thank you so much, sis, for coming on the Heather B Live show.
For having me. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Always. We got to get drinks. We got to do something, girl. We got to catch up some more. But thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you.
All right, y'all. Y'all heard from Candace McDuffie, senior writer of The Root, in our Woman to Woman Wednesday segment. I hope y'all still thinking about the topic I told you about earlier with Megan Thee Stallion. I also want to bring up another topic for today's show before we go to a break, so y'all can think about this. Mrs. Michelle Obama, our favorite first lady, my favorite, our forever FLOTUS, has been making the rounds. She's promoting her book. She's on tour, and she sat down with several, you know, famous Black women. And so clips have been, I don't know if there's like an actual program that's been shown in full. I've only seen clips of her conversation, but various clips are going viral. And so earlier this week, Mrs. Michelle Obama spoke candidly about what it's like raising daughters, Malia and Sasha, alongside former president, our forever president, Barack Obama. While the Obamas are often labeled couple goals, during a recent sit down with Revolt, she shared that behind the scenes, she didn't always, quote unquote, like her husband, and that her daughters were secretly terrorizing them both. She says, people think I'm catty. I'm being catty for saying this. It's like, there were 10 years where I couldn't stand my husband. 10 years. And guess when it happened? When those kids were little. She explained, and guess what? Little kids, they're terrorists. They are. They have demands. They don't talk. They're poor communicators. They cry all the time. They're irrational. They're needy. And you love them more than anything. And so you can't blame them, right? So you turn the ire on each other. Mrs. First Lady, she was preaching the word there. I'm gonna tell you that right now. She was applauded for her realness, and she went on to further describe the challenges of her marriage. Marriage is hard work, despite what supporters may see in the media. And I think it's so funny that she called her kids terrorists, because I literally, when my husband came home, I was like, Ava was being a terrorist today. And I think, parents understand when we say terrorists, we don't mean like, Osama bin Laden, come on, but I mean, kids are poor communicators and they're demanding. And, you have to try to decipher their little googly goo language and their cries and their tantrums, and but you love them so much, and so you really can't be mad at them. I know for me, I'm looking at my daughter, I'm like, oh, she's so cute though, but she's a terrorist, and so if you can relate to Mrs. Obama, give us a call, 866-801-8255. If you think she's putting her business out there a little bit too much, go ahead and call too. We are keeping it real over here. If you would be like, you know what, I feel her, but I wouldn't say that, go ahead and call in. If you are a parent and you can relate to these terrorist children, call in. If you like, I'm not a parent for that reason, for whatever reason, go ahead and give this a call. Heather B Live Crew, it's your girl Reecie Colbert filling in for Heather B, sending love to Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion is not on trial, y'all. Megan Thee Stallion is the victim. Be clear. And so today we are talking Women to Women Wednesday about where the aunties at. Where are the women to be out there defending her from the onslaught of abuse and bullying she's still being subjected to during the Tory Lanez trial? I'm so glad that Vivica Fox and Claudia Jordan spoke up in defense of her when Joe Budden attacked her, but I'm looking for more of the aunties to be out there, more of the Black women, the cousins, the sisters, the mamas, the grandmamas to be out there defending her. If you want to say some words in support of Megan, 866-801-8255 if you just have an opinion on the case. We're also talking Mrs. Michelle Obama. She has been touring and talking about her book and talking about her relationship with President Barack Obama, and essentially saying that having kids, little kids, put a strain on her marriage. I'm paraphrasing, okay? So if you want to talk about your experiences, if you can relate to what Mrs. Obama was talking about, if you really don't pretty much too much appreciate her talking about it, then go on ahead and call in 866-801-8255, or just speak your mind on whatever you got going on. We're going to go first to TK in Dallas. Hey, TK.
Hey, how y'all doing? Thank you for taking my call.
Of course.
Hey, this is Megan Thee Stallion. I don't like Megan Thee Stallion music. I'm not into that, man. I got daughters. I think it's so disrespectful, but at the same time, I hate to see people piling on this young Black lady. I say, one of the toughest things in America is a Black woman, but also the most disrespected thing in America is a Black woman. That comes from our rappers. We talk about protecting the Black women, but so much of us are supporting these rappers who diss our Black women on every album, but
right.
Hopefully we'll get our stuff together, man. And I think that's just why it's so hard for other people to respect us as a people, because we just like piling up on each other. And, this man shot this lady 5 times, and you got all kind of stupid stuff going on, like her best friend getting amnesia all of a sudden, and her bodyguard being out of the country during the trial to not back her up.
Right.
But yet people piling on that young lady. Man, we as a people, man, this is why it's hard for us to get respected by other races, because we just can't act right, and I hate seeing that. I got daughters, you know what I mean? So, like I said, I'm not a fan of Megan Thee Stallion. I don't listen to her music, because I don't want that getting into my kids' ears. But at the same time, there's so much disrespect going on and a lack of sympathy in this situation for that lady,
Yeah.
And I wish we would do better, And as far as Michelle Obama, I think sis needs to just shut up, be honest with you. I respect the Obamas. I love the Obamas. You know what I mean? They good people. But my concern is, sis, don't start going down the road of this Real Housewife coonery. You know what I mean? You know.
Ooh, okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay, now that's a strong statement. Okay. You got to give me some evidence, or you got to give me something that I will never co-sign it, but like, why would you say that? Why would you say something so strong about First Lady?
TV. You want me? I'll elaborate. You want me to elaborate?
Go ahead.
These people are getting on TV and getting paid to act in a way that just makes our people look bad. Look here, I know how it is to need money. I know how it is to want and need a check. And these people, a lot of these Real Housewife people, that's all they doing. They putting on this act. They acting crazy for a check.
But what's
and
that got to
Michelle
do
Obama,
with...
y'all got money. Y'all got money, sis. It ain't worth you putting every single detail of your marriage out there when we as a black people holding y'all up as a mortal couple. We know y'all don't have no perfect no perfect marriage, because nobody does. But at the same time, sis, you got to be careful with the words you choose. Talking about you hated your husband. Come on now.
No, she didn't say. Wait, let me go back and read the quote, because let me say, maybe I said it wrong. She said she didn't always. She said she couldn't stand. She said she couldn't stand her husband for a while. That's not the same as saying hate. But you think it serves our community for her to fake the funk? Like, I think that her being transparent and saying like, hey, there are times where things aren't going to always be good. And her overarching message was, you're not always going to like your partner, but you love them and you work through it, because that's what marriage is about. So, I mean, I just think I think it's damaging to try to put people on a pedestal to where they can't speak their own truth.
Yeah, but sis, it's all in the wording. So much she disliked him, and I've been married 22 years, and yeah, I have issues every now and then with my wife. I'm not a perfect husband; she ain't a perfect wife, but at the same time, I would never say I disliked her. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know how the kids are. The kids can push your nerves. They'll push the envelope to see how far they can get away with stuff, and I understand that. But at the same time, Miss Obama, we hold y'all up. We know y'all not perfect. Y'all have issues, but don't be selling your soul out for these books, ma'am. Y'all just keep doing y'all thing, living your best life. You got a ton of money that your grandchildren and great-grandchildren will probably be spending. You ain't got to be trying to entertain us.
Well, that is an interesting perspective, TK. I'm going to be interested to see if the other callers agree with you. But thank you for sharing your obviously honest and unfiltered opinion. Thank you so much, TK.
Bless you. Have a Merry Christmas.
You too. Yeah. I'm still, my head is still spinning from him saying Real Housewives and coonery.
Can I jump in? Because I totally disagree with TK. I feel like what she said was so relatable. I don't even have kids, but I see like my sister has kids. My parents obviously have kids. But like, there are times where you're not going to like your partner, but it doesn't mean you're not going to love and support them in everything they do. I don't think what she said was crazy.
Yeah. I don't think that what she said was crazy. It was so relatable. I mean, I think we can always nitpick somebody's word choice and maybe you should have said this different. Maybe you should have said this different. We know that, when you're on camera, when you're on the radio, unless you're scripted, stuff is going to come out of you might be like, "Ooh, I probably want to use those words," but hey, it's out there now, and sure, she could have went back and said, edit that out or whatever. But the message is the message. And I think like is a very important word to talk about, because we spend so much time talking about love and we don't spend enough time talking about because there are times when you're with somebody and you like, do you even like me? Like, I'm confused. And I think people can feel that. And you really have to evaluate that, because to me, love is not necessarily what causes relationships to not work. It's the like part. And so to recognize that to not always like your partner is normal, I think that's a really important thing. So, and anybody else want to jump on before I get to the callers? Jump in on this?
I agree.
Okay. All right, we got the calls blowing up. TK, to call in and go against the first lady is bold. Okay, that is bold. But go ahead if you agree with TK. You can go ahead and put your hat in the ring too. We got some people that don't agree with him. 866-801-8255. Let's go to Ryan in New Orleans. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Reecie. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm a first-time caller, a long-time listener. I wanted to chime in about the Meg Thee Stallion stuff because I'm not sure if you all have talked about it yet. And I do a lot of thinking, and stuff. And it's really like this term black girl magic and protect black women. And I'm like, you know what? I call bunk, and I'm going to tell you why I call this bunk. I say some of these same people, when Kamala Harris grilled Brett Kavanaugh, everybody was like, yes, queen, yes, queen. But then she decides to run for president. And then there comes the Kamala's a cop thing. Kamala is bad for black men. There comes that part, okay? Then we have Stacey Abrams. If it wasn't for Stacey Abrams, we would have gotten 4 more years of the orange guy, that orange dope idiot guy. She decides to run for governor again. And guess what? It went from, yes, black queen, to no, why is she running again? And while everybody wants to point out and say, oh, yeah, white women voted overwhelmingly for Brian Kemp. It's the South. You only need 30%, 35% of white support to win the election in the South, to win an election in the South, okay? Stop talking about the white folks, okay? Let's talk about, I was like, 92% of black women voted for Stacey Abrams. 84% voted for 84% of black men voted for Stacey Abrams. There were a lot of Warnock voters that voted for Brian Kemp. There was a small group of people who voted Warnock and Brian Kemp. Right. And here's where I'm going with this. I said, y'all only bring up black girl magic when it's convenient to you. And I see this with Meg Thee Stallion, okay? Meg Thee Stallion is a beautiful woman, okay? Let's not forget that part, okay? Let's not forget that part, okay? But at the same time, she's more than just eye candy. She's more than just eye candy and your wet dream. She has feelings. She has to relive this trauma, not only in the courtroom, but from other male rappers. Yeah. And the overwhelming thing is everybody always wants to sit. Hey, white folks do this. White folks, no. Stop. Black women's trauma, a black woman's trauma, should not be fodder for jokes. Because we all know Chris Rock wouldn't have said the stuff that he said about Jada Pinkett. He wouldn't have said that about Scarlett Johansson. He wouldn't have said that stuff about Brie Larson. He wouldn't have said that stuff about
Ryan, you preaching a whole sermon, and I appreciate you, brother, but we got other people we got to get to. So thank you so much. And I completely wholeheartedly agree with you. The Black Girl Magic as a slogan don't translate to Black Girl Magic as a verb, as an action to actually support Black women. Especially, you know how I feel about, anybody that knows me knows I'm ride or die VP Kamala Harris. And the energy switched all the way up to yes, queen, Black Girl Magic, to all the other stuff that Ryan was talking about. Same with Stacey. It's just the same story over and over again. So it seems like the support is very conditional when it comes to Black women. And when we need it the most, it ain't there. Okay. Let's go to Diane in California. Hey, Diane. And we got like a lot of callers, and we got like 12 minutes left. So if y'all can keep it a little quick, we'd appreciate it. Hey, Diane.
Hi, yeah, for sure. I'll keep it quick. Okay. No, I agree with the previous caller was saying. I think what I was going to highlight is for why people don't support Meg Thee Stallion. Truthfully, she's kind of truthfully, Meg Thee Stallion is a rapper, and most of the stuff that she raps about is about being the best bitch, hating on other women, que sera, I can get your man want me. So if you're putting that type of stuff out there, why do you think people are going to support you? I mean, I know it's a stupid thing, but, like, truthfully, that's kind of what it is. Her persona is Meg Thee Stallion, not Meg the person. And so when your persona has been built on this, head bitches only, I'm the best, and then you want support from like the person, that's a dichotomy that truthfully people can't cross over to.
Yeah, but I think that that's not I think that that's the small-mindedness of people. I mean, it's a persona. It's bravado. I mean, I don't think a lot of people necessarily want to listen to like, I'm a mediocre bitch, I'm just mid in bed. Like, people want to like have a fantasy. People want to have something that's exciting. And so, I mean, I understand your point that some people can't like divorce a persona as terms of rap lyrics from the person, but people don't seem to have the problem when it comes to rappers that talk about killing people and drugs and sleeping around. And when they're victims of violence, there's still an outpouring of support for them. So it's just funny to me that when it's Megan, then it's such a problem. But thank you, Diane, for your comment. Let's go to Lawrence in Texas. Hey, Lawrence.
How you doing, my sister? Hey, TK was right, but then think on this. Look how morals and values and like just left the house. They done ran away in the black community. And think on this. Why is it that Megan, Minaj, Cardi B, why is it that our young black girls have these type of images, idols, role models, or even entertainers, however we want to classify it? Why is it that we can't do better for our offspring, our children? Look at what we leave in them. I inherited blues, jazz, rock and roll. I inherited spiritual. Hey, what are our children inheriting? What are we leaving our kids?
Hold on. Why are you singling out the women rappers? What about Migos? What about Tory Lanez?
Oh, you know it. I agree 100%, because the men are the ones who led the women down this dirty path to get into rapping.
I mean,
think about it.
No, but I mean, listen, I'm not into respectability politics. I think that there's space for a variety of perspectives, whether that's in music, whether that's in acting, comedy, politics, everything. I don't think that these artists are the problem in terms of their music, because blues, you said you inherited blues. Blues could get ratchet too. Let's be clear. You know, they may not have been, gyrating on a thong, but they was getting down and dirty too. So, but I just think that we have to make space for a variety of perspectives in our community. But the problem is the positive, the more substantive stuff doesn't get the same amplification. It doesn't get the same promotion as the raunchier stuff. So but I don't think that's more of a mark against the people that are putting this stuff out. I think it's a mark on us as a community and what we value. But thank you so much, Lawrence, for your perspective. We welcome all different perspectives here. So thank you. Let's go, because I'm sorry, I just have to go through this because we got a lot of people. Let's go to LaShawn in Texas. Hey, LaShawn.
Hi, Niecy. I'm Reecie. I'm very, very happy to be on. This is my first time calling in. I follow you on Twitter for quite some time.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I have two comments, one about Meg and one about First Lady Obama. For Meg, I really think people should leave that baby alone.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she's on trial for something that happened to her, and I think that happens often in our community. We don't only go on trial in the public, we go on trial in our own community, and it's internalized conditioning. So I just really feel like the same energy, just as you told the last caller, the same energy they have for the female rappers, they need to have that same energy for the men who are rappers. That's my thought on that.
Yeah.
Leave that baby alone. She's not on trial.
Mm-hmm.
My thought with First Lady Obama is let her speak her truth.
Right.
As a mom myself, we are setting our young people up with reality TV to believe that love does not require maintenance. Love does not require sacrifice. Love does not require selflessness. Love does not require boundaries. All of these things are being taught to our young women, and then we have a woman, a black woman, who held one of the highest positions in this country, and she says, I want you to know that what you see took time to build, right? And so for her to be vulnerable and to be brave enough to come in and say, I didn't like my husband for these amount of years, and children, and don't even get me started on the amount of trauma that parenting can bring into a family, especially if you have children that have special needs or that children have different personalities, right? And so I just wanted to say, we need to let the First Lady speak her truth and let it touch the hearts of the young people who don't know what it really requires to hold on to a marriage. Thank you so much for what you guys are doing. That's all I have.
Thank you so much, LaShawn. Thank you. Okay, y'all, we got 5 minutes left and a lot of people. So I'm going to let you speak, but please keep it very, very quick. Okay, let's go to Rhonda in Atlanta. Hey, Rhonda.
Hey, Reecie, love you so much. I
thank
just wanted to say about the Meg Thee Stallion trial that people really should just cut her some slack. At the end of the day, she was shot.
Yeah.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I do think that, you know, the different details coming out about the story are like iffy. I think all three of them, her, Tory, and her best friend, probably are lying in some respect to either protect themselves or one of the three that's in the triangle.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it hard for people to, you know, like give Megan, I think, sympathy because the story changed. But like I said, she was shot. Somebody shot her, and she deserves justice.
I agree. Thank you so much, Rhonda. And there have been a lot of things that have been inconsistent in what we've heard. It's a trial, so we're going to have the defense's job is to muddy the waters, inject reasonable doubt. But I think what was jarring yesterday, with the eyewitness who was called by Tory Lanez's defense team, it seems to me that the best case scenario is that Megan was, and I say this with air quotes, only shot. The worst case scenario is that not only was she shot, but she was brutally attacked by everybody that was in the car with her. And for some reason, she's only, you know, because Tory Lanez was the one that shot her, that's the only one that she's really being like, okay, he did this to me. And she's actually protecting the other two people. But it's just a horrific situation. At the end of the day, she was shot. She's a victim. And that's what matters. She deserves justice. Okay. We got 3 minutes left. Let's see. Beth, North Carolina, really quickly. What's your comment?
My comment is, I think that whatever, I've never listened to Meg Thee Stallion, but the issue in the Black community is, and communities period, is just like people think that it's okay or they hide sexual abuse, they think that people should continue to do the same for any other type of physical abuse.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what her, you know, her persona is. She's just doing that to make money. And that's what I speak to that with Michelle Obama. We can't focus on the fact that there were times that she did not like her husband. I think that anybody that has been in a relationship, that has ever been married, there are going to be times when you may not like your spouse, but the fact that you love them and what is your outcome. And I think that's what we focus on for Michelle Obama, because to me, she's a human. She's a beautiful human. And her book probably supports what other people go through in marriage.
Okay. Thank you, Beth. Thank you so much. Deborah, California, really quickly, please.
Okay, so really, I just wanted to comment on the guy from Texas and
TK.
The whole coonery statement that he made about Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm just going to say this, because the lady before me that talked about our babies who understand marriage and the difficulties and stuff, I married late in life, was not ready for it. We're 10 years in, just now getting to the point where things are normalizing, and I truly can understand the difficulties in marriage. My husband said something to me very powerful. He said, I promise to love you every day. I just promise to like you every day.
I hear that. Thank you so much, Deborah. Okay, y'all, we are running out of time. Asada, so sorry I couldn't get to you. Gma, DeAndre, I appreciate you all calling in. I'm going to be back tomorrow. So if you call back in tomorrow, I'll try to remember the names and then I'll get to you first. Promise. Thank you so much, Yaya, Amina, Stephanie, Heather B, as always, for letting me fill in. My boy, Clay Kane, is up next. Reecie Colbert signing out. Bye, y'all.